All right, everybody. Today we're going to talk about strategic decision making. We have put together a guide to help you, and it's in fact the step by step process that you and I utilize when making strategic decisions, both in our personal lives and in our business. Now, if you want a copy of this particular guide, all you have to do is comment decision if you are watching us on Facebook. Now, if you are enjoying this video on YouTube, very simple, go down into the description section. We have placed a link that will enable you to get a copy of what we call the decision diamond. Now, it's a decision diamond because if you know anything about flowcharts, right, then usually when you come to this if then, a lot of times in mind mapping and flowchart software, it uses
It's a diamond icon.
It's a diamond icon, which means there is a decision to be made.
A fork in the road.
Do you go right or do you go left? Is it a yes or is it a no? Well, in your life, it's much the same way, except for I think a lot of people find themselves in a decision blob where they come to a point where you have to make a decision and you don't do so. So listen, you might find yourself really frustrated with decisions because you frankly tell yourself, I have a hard time making decisions. I hear that all the time.
Yep.
I just have a hard time. Well, I think what it really boils down to is that you don't have a process for making decision. And then we say nonsensical things like, well, I just am stuck in analysis paralysis.
Oh, I hear that a lot.
As if you're buried under stacks of research and science to help you determine what you should do. Should I hire the coach or not? I'm just going to do millions of years of analysis on this. That's not true. You're really not analyzing anything. You actually just lack a system for making decisions.
You know what else happens too? People get frustrated, and this may have been you. You get frustrated with things that you've done in the past because of what we call shiny object syndrome. You see somebody else utilizing a new way of marketing, a new company, putting out new types of content. You say to yourself, I have to do that because it seems to be working so well for them. And you make a decision based off of somebody else's stuff, somebody else's potential success or elusive success. And then you look back and you go, that didn't work for me. I wish I hadn't decided to do that. I wish I hadn't been attracted to that shiny object because that object wasn't quite right for me. So if you get frustrated with shiny object syndrome, we're going to teach you how to not make decisions based off of other people's objects.
Okay, don't listen for a second. But have you ever been in a situation with your spouse where they ask you, what do you want for dinner? And you're like, well, I don't know, what do you want? And they say, why do I always have to make all of the decisions? Well, this is known as decision fatigue. And listen, when you're an entrepreneur and you're running a business, you may find yourself in a state of decision fatigue. It's not that you can't make a decision, it's that you have become overwhelmed with making decisions. Yeah. It actually makes it more difficult for you to make the decision. This guide is going to help you to eliminate decision fatigue.
So if you have been desiring to have a system in place that allows you to consistently make wise, effective, efficient, successful decisions for your business, this is the guide that you need to utilize and put in place to do so.
We also say that all successful people are decisive. So if you want to also be decisive so that when opportunity knocks, you will be able to step through that door versus say, oh, I missed my chance, this guide is for you.
And if you've wished along the way that you could look back and evaluate the decisions that you made better to look at their effectiveness, this is what you need to put in place. And this will allow you to make appropriate tweaks moving forward.
All right, well, let's dive into what is in this guide. So you get a preview. 7 steps to making great decisions. Follow these steps every time. Make it a process. And you will see that this will be very helpful. This will help things to become a little more black and white and not so gray. The first step is to ask yourself, is this a good idea? So listen,
Seems easy.
It seems easy enough, but here's the problem. If you are a solopreneur or you're even an entrepreneur that's leading your business, of course, you're the one coming up with the ideas. Of course, you think it's a good idea. You should look for a mechanism, someone you trust, like I could ask Lacey,
Sure.
is this a good idea? And know that you'll be honest. Now, sometimes just going to your team is not the best because you're the boss, you're the leader, and they don't want to be like, boss, that sounds like a terrible idea. But you need to make sure that you have someone that you trust that will be honest with you, that you can run things by if you don't trust yourself, and ask yourself, is this a good idea?
Number 2 is, does it help me achieve an existing goal? And for me, I think this is one of the most important steps in the decision diamond process, because it's so easy to say yes to things that look really good, may help you achieve a certain level of success or move you forward towards a goal. That's all fine and dandy, but not if it wasn't a goal that you already had for your business. If you're looking at this and you say, that could be really great for me, but it won't help me achieve an existing goal, put that in your book of yet. I want to do this, just not yet. So also this step, you need to make sure that your goals are super, super clear. So if you haven't checked out our 6 P's of goal setting, it would actually be a great opportunity for you to go back and get our PDF for the 6 P's of goal setting. But you need to have your existing goals in place and make sure that when you make the decision to say yes to this thing, it's moving the needle on that goal that you're trying to go after.
Number 3 is, how much capital will I need? So many times we make decisions to do things, but we haven't thought it through. And then you know what happens? We have that buyer's remorse. Look, if we're jumping into something and it's a $49 offer, well, I would say to myself, look, I probably need to have at least $300 saved up, because I don't think that if I pay the $49, I'll get an instant ROI. So I know that I can do this for at least the next 6 months and I'll be okay. Now, some things might be $3,000, $5,000, or maybe it's a one-time payment of $100,000. And in that case, I need to ask myself, how much capital will I need to make the thing work? I've seen so many people buy homes, buy commercial real estate, and they actually didn't even have the capital to do it.
Right.
It causes so much stress through the process because it just wasn't thought out, because they didn't use a system to arrive at the decision. They just were told, you should buy this house. And then they did it, and then they tried to figure it out after the fact.
Yep. Step number 4 is, what people do I need in order to create leverage to make this thing go? And so there's a lot of different ways that we can utilize people in order to get this decision off the ground. But first you have to ask yourself, who would that be? And do I have the financial capacity or the energetic capacity to take them on, right? I think this is really, really important. There's a lot of things that you're going to want to say yes to that you may not know how to implement, and you may need somebody to help you launch it or get it off the ground. So you've got to figure out, do I need to hire somebody on my team? Can I hand this off to somebody else that I already currently have on my team? Or is this something I need to take on myself? And then lastly, when it comes to people, is there somebody that you could ask that's already walked the path in this type of decision that you're making to find out what you need to do? Once you've analyzed and looked at all of that and feel good about the people component, you can move forward into the next step of the decision diamond.
Number 5, very important to ask yourself, how long is this going to take? So many times you jump into things because people told you it was a good idea, but you never thought about the time frame. You get, a month into it, and then you're like, I think this is going to take 9 months, and I'm not sure that I can commit to the next 8 months of doing this thing. You need to make sure that you have assessed how long it will take you to reach your goal.
And then number 6 is, what are the risks? So if I say yes to this thing, what am I going to be potentially risking? Is it a certain amount of time? Is it a financial investment? Am I risking utilizing and taking away my team's attention from something they're already working on and putting them on this particular project? What are the risks associated with saying yes to this? And do I feel comfortable in my capacity of risk tolerance to take this thing on?
And then number 7, are all of these things worth it? Listen, basically we go back. Number 1, it passed the test. I say, listen, does it help me to achieve a goal? Those are yes, no. Those are go, no go questions. Yep. Then I say, okay, so I'm going to have to put in capital. I'm going to have to bring on new people or allocate resources from my existing team to do this. I'm going to have to commit to this for a period of time. And I understand the risks. This is the desired outcome. Given everything that I've got to put in, is it worth it? If the answer is yes, then you go forth with confidence that you've assessed the situation and you have made your decision confidently.
So listen, this decision diamond worksheet can help you make smart, effective, efficient, and strategic decisions. But most importantly, it will help you feel confident in the decision that you make so that you can launch and move forward with things so much quicker and not have the regret that a lot of you have when you make decisions that aren't right for you.
So let's get you unstuck. Stop being frustrated. Stop telling yourself stories about how you can't make decisions. Stop suffering from decision fatigue. Let's turn you into a decision-making machine. Let's make you super decisive so that you could join the ranks of the other successful people who, when they see opportunity, are able to process those 7 steps almost instantaneously. That's how they make decisions quickly and step through that. If you would like a copy of our worksheet and you're watching this on Facebook, just comment decision below. Our team will get that to you right away. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just click on the link in the descriptions. We'll facilitate delivering this decision-making guide, the Decision Diamond. We'll get it to you right away. Thanks so much for watching.